How is it going, everyone? If you can't tell by the tone of my voice, I am incredibly excited. Listen, I was chilling yesterday around 7:30, and I randomly get a notification on my phone that I genuinely couldn't believe, and I had to do a double take. Freedom Wars Remastered gets a trailer and gets announced. I was in disbelief, and I had to look at my phone a couple of times, and I was like, there's no way this is what I think it is. And then I saw the images, then I saw the trailer, then I saw the Steam page go live, and I almost still couldn't believe it. Yes, one of the most underrated games, I would say, of the last decade, and for obvious reasons. I mean, when you're only released on the PlayStation Vita, you're going to have a limited audience output, let's be totally honest here, but done by Dimps and published by Sony, Freedom Wars was released exclusively on the PlayStation Vita back in October of 2014, and rise up all of my Vita heads out there, my Vita fiends out there. I know there's only a few of us out there. I still have my PlayStation Vita, actually dug it up while I was at my parents' place, and my Vita is over there, and I found it and I was like, man, I don't have a lot of memories with the Vita because the life cycle was so short, but the games that I did play on the Vita, Uncharted Golden Abyss, Tokaiden, you had games like Killzone Mercenary, of course, Persona 4 Golden, but one of those games that has been stuck alongside Killzone Mercenary and Uncharted Golden Abyss, which Sony, come on, get on that, in the Vita purgatory, the Vita abyss, so to speak, is Freedom Wars, and Freedom Wars was a fantastic action title. Now, this was literally a decade ago. The game came out in October of 2014 when I played this game on the Vita, so my memory's a little bit foggy, but I remember really enjoying the game. The gameplay I thought was exhilarating, a little bit of challenge to it, but at the same time rewarding, and now it's getting a full-on remaster. I don't know who came together and realized that there would be an audience for this, and I personally believe this is one of those games, much like a title like Sleeping Dogs that also came out around that time, 2013 for Sleeping Dogs, that over the last decade or so has kind of enveloped in this cult following, that there is an audience that remembers this game, and it might be a few of us, but absolutely after the announcement of Freedom Wars Remastered, oh, we're gonna be on social media. You're gonna see me making videos promoting this game and getting you guys excited about this game and going over why you should be excited about this game. And I'm not saying Freedom Wars Remastered is gonna sell millions upon millions of copies, but I do think a game like this getting remastered is an opportunity for a second win, a second chance, and I think so many games deserve that, and a lot of the times, it's the games that I don't even think about. If you told me before yesterday that what game deserves a second chance, Freedom Wars is one of those games that I remember really enjoying, but guys, I play so many games that it's one of those games that over time is gonna get lost in the ether, and I'm not gonna think about every single game off the top of my head, but once it was announced to get remastered, I was like, thank you! This is one that deserves another chance. This is one that deserves another opportunity to find success, and now it's gonna be widely available on PlayStation 4, on PlayStation 5, on Nintendo Switch, and on PC. Are you kidding me? Now it's gonna be accessible to a wide range of people, and I really do believe that, again, it's not going to sell millions upon millions of copies, but you're going to see the schmucks like me talk this game up, and then suddenly that social media discourse, I do think, is going to pop off with a game like this, and I think it's going to do a lot better than, let's say, the PlayStation Vita version, of course, but it's also going to do fairly well. I remember when Valkyria Chronicles was released on PC in 2014, and Sega was shocked at how that game did, and Valkyria Chronicles is another game that back in 2008 didn't do all too well, but the time passes, you're opening up the game to a wider audience, and suddenly there is an audience for something like this. And now, because that discourse is going to happen on social media, and more importantly than anything, it's going to be accessible to a lot of people, because you don't got to drop $250 on a Vita. That, I love the Vita, but let's be real, a lot of people weren't buying that. It's going to be available on platforms that most people own. So let's talk about it. They already put out some of the information as far as what to expect out of this remaster. The Steam page is up, as I mentioned. The release date is January the 9th on Steam, but it's a Bandai Namco published title, so it'll be January 10th for the official release. Bandai Namco games are weird where they're released at 6 p.m. Eastern time for time conversion sakes, but Born into a 1 million year prison sentence, you must survive deadly missions to earn any hope of freedom, die in prison, or live on the battlefield. The choice is yours. Convicted from birth for the crime of living in a distant future where all resources on Earth have been depleted, being alive is a sin by itself. As a sinner sentenced to 1 million years in prison, you must volunteer in dangerous operations to reduce your prison sentence and fight your way to freedom. Three-dimensional high-speed combat, use your most trusted weapon, your thorn, to dominate the battlefield, stand alongside your allies and your Warden Cyborg accessory to face off against powerful enemies, and re-rendered graphics, enhanced graphics, vividly portray desolate worlds, colossal prison cities, powerful enemies, and fierce battles. As far as upgrades in this new remastered version, high-resolution textures, models, and interface, 4K resolution support, added difficulty level settings, and overhauled the weapon crafting system. We also have some input in a interview from PlayStation Blog Japan with Takashi Tsukamoto, the director of the original Freedom Wars, noting, "We've wanted to make a sequel ever since the game was released 10 years ago, but the opportunity never came up. This time, we were fortunate enough to have an opportunity, and with Bandai Namco Entertainment, who are publishing the game this time around, producing while we develop, and with it being the 10th anniversary, the timing was right to do something. When we received the license from Sony Interactive Entertainment to create a remastered version and we're looking for a publisher, Bandai Namco Entertainment kindly stepped forward and offered to publish." I really hope that this remaster does well enough where they'll look at the possibility of doing a sequel, because the idea of a Freedom Wars 2 being built ground up for modern platforms, oh, that gets me excited. There were some awesome battles in this game. Customizability was something that was focused on as well. I just remember really enjoying it, but it's one of those games that you play it a decade ago. I was 17, I want to say, when this game came out, but I just remember really enjoying it. And Freedom Wars was one of those standout games on the Vita that at the time, the Vita heads were like, okay, Freedom Wars is there, P4G is there, Killzone Mercenary, Uncharted Golden Abyss. There's actually some really solid games on the Vita. Ultimately, the Vita didn't have a lengthy life cycle, and games like this were lost. And there are games like this, like, you know what game just popped into my head that's also being lost in the ethers of time? Folklore on the PlayStation 3. I don't know who has the rights to Folklore on the PlayStation 3, and that's just one that, back of my mind, I'm just thinking about games that are getting lost in the annals of time. Folklore is another game, early PlayStation 3 title, just a great game from my recollection on that as well, but just getting lost in the annals of time. Freedom Wars, I'm happy it's getting a second chance, and hopefully this paves the way and this game does do well enough that people will look at other games and see how they did. Unfortunately, you had releases like Lollipop Chainsaw recently that wasn't a great remaster. Hopefully Shadows of the Damned will be a pretty good one, but it does my heart joy to see some of these more niche games have a second chance, and Freedom Wars is one that I already see the discourse on social media, and it seems like people are increasingly excited for it, and I see it doing fairly well. As long as it's priced accordingly, you can't price it as $50 or $60, but $40 I think would be palatable. $30 in this climate, I just don't think we get $30 games all that much, but $40 I think would be acceptable, and happy that this is coming to fruition. One of the most surprising game announcements in recent memory, and in the best way possible. Look, when Final Fantasy VII Part 3 gets announced, I'm going to be very excited for that. But that's an announcement that everybody knows is coming. When the next Like a Dragon is revealed, I'll be very excited for that, but we know that's coming. Sometimes it's these ones that come completely out of left field, nobody sees coming. It's so completely random in the best way possible, and it's just great to see stuff like this, and I feel like gaming today needs games like this, and games like this can be more successful when they're widely available on all these platforms. I'm not saying, again, it's not going to sell millions upon millions of copies, but I think there's an audience, and the scalability of this game, it's not like they're dunking, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars to get Freedom Wars Remastered to be a thing. But do I think there will be a return on cost investment? Absolutely. I think this is going to do fairly well. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. I know a lot of you guys aren't even familiar with the game, but you should be, and you certainly will be if you stay locked onto this channel ahead of January 10th. So be on the lookout for all of our coverage on Freedom Wars Remastered. That's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.